I started off in England. I'm an English guy, English accent, and I started off at Vidal Sassoon's at the age of 17, 18. I stayed at Sassoon's for a few years. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience, and after Sassoon's I went to work for a company. I moved out to Canada. I worked for Brewster Crescendo's, which was a very big hair salon. And then I returned to England, and I owned 4 hairdressing salons in England for about 13 and a half years. And then I returned to Canada and I went to work for Nexus in the sales and education side of the industry. And I've been speaking professionally for 15 years. I grew up with a very severe speech disability, a very bad stutter, or stammer as we called it in England at the time. And you know, for probably 25, 30 years, I had a really bad a speech impediment, and I was able to overcome it. And again, I give everything out to the beauty industry for giving me an opportunity. That's the only thing somebody's able to give you in life is an opportunity, then you have to run with it. Without the beauty industry, a kid from Manchester, England who stuttered would not be where he is today, the greatest industry in the world. So I was at the salon at Vidal Sassoon's for about 6 months. I didn't used to speak a lot. I used to just smile, and I used to let my hands and fingers do all my talking. I was known as the quiet one. Nobody had really heard me speak a lot and stutter. And then we heard Vidal Sassoon himself was coming up to visit the team. I'll never forget that Thursday morning he walked in the salon, and he looked, of course, every inch the star he was. And as a person who stutters, I never used to speak a lot, but one of the things, I was always aware of everything around me. And I think for people to always to be aware of their surroundings, take it all in, smell the roses. And I noticed as he came up those stairs, all the managers were there and the leadership team and the artistic directors. He hardly even looked at them. He looked at the back of the room where there were 14 of us kids in brown smocks who washed their hair, swept the floor, made the coffee. Success does not impress me. Significance impresses me, never forgetting where you started. So Vidal Sassoon comes over with his big smile, and the greatest gift you can give anybody is the gift of your attention. He comes up to us kids. Hi, my name's Vidal Sassoon. It's great to have you on our team. Thank you for being a member of our organization. And then he said, if those guys looking at the leadership team are giving you a hard time, phone me. Being the man he was, he decides to come back and speak to all these kids individually. Fine for everybody else. The hardest thing for somebody to stutter to say is your name, your age, your address, especially the most famous hairdresser in the world. It's hard for a fluent speaker. So he comes up to me finally on the line, and he said, and your name, young man, is, and where are you from? And I couldn't get a word out, and I reverted to how I used to speak. Can you imagine how humiliated I was? There was silence in the salon. Freaked all the people out except one person. Who do you think that was? Vidal. He never took his eyes off me. Never took those eyes. He knelt down, he squeezed my left hand so nobody else could hear. He said, it's okay, young man, I've got all the time in the world. Memorable moment. Saved my life, certainly changed my life and many others. My favorite quote is a quote when I was at Vidal Sassoon's. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. My kids inspire me. My daughter Rachel, who's 13, my son, who's 15, my wife, who recently was able to get a PhD. This industry inspires me, young people. And you know what I say, that everybody has a story. So what I try to do is to meet so many people. I mean, the world inspires me. But if you're talking about our industry, I think to be at these shows, and when I go to academies and I go to schools and I see passion, a very important word today in life is passion. You've got to be passionate, you've got to want it.